Very well, thanks yourself, Steve.
Very, very well, thank you. Very excited about what's happening with the Social Solidarity Food Drive. My goodness. First of all, are you gentlemen well?
Yes, very well, thanks, under the circumstances.
That's good to hear. That's a real great relief to hear. Gerard, you're surviving?
We are, the big thing starts now, the strike up, to get everything in place. 309 hours away from the big event, so the clock is ticking.
309 hours?
Yeah, it's around the corner.
Oh my goodness, Manny, you taking strain yet?
We always do, but we deal with it, and that's the art of putting ourselves under pressure.
Yeah, indeed, but this is not your first rodeo. You've done a few of these events, these large-scale events. You know the Caravello process. You know Portuguese Forum is no stranger to doing massive events right across South Africa.
Yeah, fortunately we've done events, so it does help. It does help.
Indeed. I just want to start by maybe going back a step before we even go into this particular event. The Portuguese Forum of South Africa, now you head up, Manny, you head up the Portuguese Forum of South Africa, is not a forum that sits still very much at all. It's quite an active forum, and as a community forum, it's probably one of the most active of all in South Africa. What makes it so active? What's the magic ingredient that sees the energy level being sustained?
One, besides being a NPO, we deal with a lot of issues concerning crime, concerning victims, concerning how a victim applies their rights and opening cases, working closely with the police and the individuals in the police service. The ones that we deal with do an excellent job out there in arresting, and we assist in the conviction as well, just so that it keeps the community positive that things can be done. And yes, it can be done, but it's a lot of work, and too many people are too scared to open a case and things like that. So we support them in that way. You know, at the moment we got this unfortunate thing of construction hijacking by thugs, and there are certain services that have been put in place by the police to deal with these thugs, and extortion as well. We've got quite a bit of extortion, and one in particular that we're dealing with is one of these guys that purports to be a Labour Department individual, but he's been arrested. He's very clever with his rights, but we're narrowing down, and quite a few people have opened cases against him. So hopefully down the line we'll put him away as well.
So that's an interesting aspect that comes in, that's aside to just being a community forum where people that are like-minded and with a particular heritage that they're proud of, and sharing that with other like-minded people. In addition to that, you're providing a service that's quite unusual, and that is almost an exposure when things have gone wrong, and a protection for those that are in the right when they are threatened by those that are trying to do wrong.
Oh, absolutely. And our women's group is very active. Because we have an annual memorial service. We've lost about 461 of our members to crime.
Sadly.
And our women support the women that have lost their husbands and things like that, and sitting with kids. So we got that support that's available to them. And then obviously with this pandemic, Portuguese that we never expected would ask for food parcels have surfaced. Hence this whole food drive is for us to understand that it could happen to us as well. It can happen to anybody, that you can lose your business because of this pandemic. You know, the economics is affecting us. And there are those that are blessed that can contribute, and these are the people we're working on. And there's those that can contribute very little, and they're putting the effort because they understand what poverty is all about. And then it's forming this network for future reference that we can connect easier with organizations that go more down to grassroots level, but that are in good standing. So whatever the Portuguese Forum does is in a constructive manner. Yeah, there are lots of things we dislike politically, but we get on with doing things about it, not just talk about it, so we get on with it.
In addition to that, are there areas where there is encouragement for the food styles, the dress styles, the music styles of the community?
What, at the food drive?
At the Portuguese Forum
itself?
Yes,
we will have our folklore groups there that will be dressed up. We're looking at doing 2 dances,
Okay.
one from the Portugal side, cultural dance, and one from the island of Madeira. You know, we're looking at doing that as well. But obviously, the compliance with COVID-19 is, it restricts us quite a bit. But we're looking at doing something together with the Yetu that it
Interesting.
complies.
Yes,
very
absolutely.
much. But
Simon-
we will have music on the day. There will be a DJ.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got to have music. We've got to put some real spirit into it.
Sure.
While the bikers come through and all the cars coming
Yeah,
through.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll have our microphones open so that we can share what the atmosphere is all about on that day when we transmit live from the event. Looking forward to that in a big way. Chatting about this particular event, 309
9 hours away. from,
hours as we speak.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's not.
And what's
That's
nice
not
about
a
this
lot.
whole event is we're going to audio-visual stream it. So, people can sit in their cars on the day. Because we want to time this correctly, because we've got a plan and we have to have structure due to COVID. So, we're first going to do the trucks. They're going to leave. Then the motorbikes are going to come in their different groups. They're going to drive through. They're going to drop off their whatever their donation they want to make. And then we're going to get open for the public. And then the public's going to come through with their cars. Drop off what the item, make the donations.
Yeah, this is a fascinating concept. If I can just jump in there. Yeah, we've chatted very briefly about this previously as well. This is a drive-through
Drop-off
donation, a charity event, donation by drive-through drop-off. It's almost bizarre when you think about it for the first time. It's obviously in compliance with COVID-19 precautions and observations right now, and you're respecting all of those restrictions and people's safety and well-being, obviously, by the drive-through. But this is an unusual concept. So I dare say anyone coming along there is probably for the first time in their life coming to a drive-through to make a donation, because normally we do that for a takeaway collection, don't we?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why we're referring to this audio visual, that we don't want people in their cars to come too early, that to check that the motorbikes have left.
Yeah.
We don't want them parked on the side of the road for an hour or two, but to look at the program and the timing. So we made it easy by this audio visual that they just check on their cell phone. If they go onto the website, they will check the link and go on there, just click on it, and they can check as to how far the progress is going concerning the trucks and the bikers and so on.
So that 309 hours that we're speaking about, that's 309 hours until 9 a.m. opening time
Yes.
on that day.
Yes.
But maybe 310 hours for the likes of me, who's coming along afterwards, because I needn't be there at 9 a.m. I need to be there sort of 10, maybe 10:30 onwards.
Yes, that's fine, Steve.
That's
Okay.
why they can just go to our website, click on the Watch Live, and they will know exactly at which point of the program we are.
And that's important because on the day that will be continually updated, it's a live stream, right?
Yes.
So people can see and hear exactly what's going on at the event, not only via the numerous radio stations that will be broadcasting directly from the event, but also via your own live stream.
That's correct, Steve.
Now we give two options. One is the audio-visual stream, and then we also do a listen live stream, so people can use less data if they don't want to use too much.
Sure.
But they still get an update. So
Oh, indeed.
We give two URLs that's built into our website.
And those are streaming directly and only what's going on there. Whereas the radio stations that'll be there will be broadcasting their shows and filling in between
Yes.
what's going on. So
Yes.
there's a regular update. But that channel that you're speaking of is a dedicated event-only stream that's coming through.
For the social food drive,
Yes.
coming live from our stage.
Yes. It switches on that morning and it switches off that evening.
Oh, yes.
That's
It's
correct.
dedicated only for that event, so you can get lots and lots of information coming through from there.
And then they can also watch our social media. I mean, we update our social media
Yeah,
with all the
indeed.
organizations
You've-
that's going to be there.
You're very active doing that.
Yeah, no, but we are inundated with organizations that wants to join or want donations. And on this day, we are only a collection point
Yeah.
from our sponsors, and we're then going to distribute to the registered and approved charity organizations, and they will then distribute to the organizations that they support. So it's not for people to come and collect food parcels. We don't do that. We are just a collection point, and we hand it over to the registered charity organizations, and they deal with the organizations.
It almost sounds like people have been approaching you for food parcel collection.
Yes, Steve, we're inundated with it, and that's why we're making it quite clear that this is just, we're just receiving the parcels, and then it will go to the hubs, and then from there, we will refer these individuals that have contacted us, we will refer them to those hubs, so that they then can phone them and see how they can get their food parcels.
So it's not a case of all is lost because I'm desperately in need of food parcels and I can't contact you because, heck, you're only doing a collection. It's not that all is lost. I can still contact you, will then put me in touch with the right people.
That's correct, Steve.
While we do this, Steve, we have got accredited and registered charity organizations that knows how to deal. They've got the infrastructure. They know the area. They know if this is people that really need the parcel or not. Because there's a lot of people that in certain organizations, when it's not structured, the wrong people gets the donation. We want to make sure that it's really people that's in desperate need of that food parcel.
That's only too often the case we hear these days of there's a good intent, there's an opportunity for people to be helped, and somewhere between good intention and actually helping, something takes a short left, and it happens to the best and the worst. And in our society, even the state president has now said that corruption needs to be exposed and removed in no uncertain terms. A very encouraging message that's come through from the state president. I'm the first one to say, yay, somebody's noticed, somebody's prepared to do something about it, and this time around, it's our state president. Thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness, something, it looks like, will be done about this. However, it's not only at the president's office and people around him, it's all the way down. And unfortunately, we've seen over the last few months that good intention with food parcels and donations and support services have taken a short left and gone into the hands of the wrong people that didn't really need it, and it hasn't reached those people that have desperately needed it. This social solidarity food drives takes care of everything from the farmer right through your collection point and your distribution channels that you're observing into the hands of accredited, approved, known channels that will ensure that it goes to the right people.
That's correct, Steve.
Now we've got the SPCA, we've got CHOC, we've got Wildlife, South African Wildlife, we've got Salvation Army, and then NOSH.
There's a new group coming up. We haven't got their full details. Also another organization in good standing. But today we'll get their information, and they'll be listed as well.
Excellent. These are all organizations that are well known, they're approved, they're recognized for their procedures, for their channels, for the way in which they go about making a difference. Not speaking about it, making the difference, doing it.
That's correct, Steve.
Then we also have Solidarity Helping Hand. That will also be there on the day. So they will also bring their
Solidarity Helping Hands.
Yes.
They're
going to be there.
That's a well-known name.
Very well known. Established in 1949, they started. I read up their history a little bit. Quite interesting.
Bunch of good people doing some, I want to say good work, but it's more than good. It's excellent work. And not for anything other than for the sake of making a difference.
That's correct, Steve.
Good to hear these feel-good organizations are all coming together in this funnel that will eventually culminate on the flow going through on the 6th of September.
Very much so, Steve. And what it's also doing is exposing these organizations that are in good standing that civil society actually doesn't know that they exist. So on the day, when they come through, they'll be seeing all these organizations, and like hospice, everybody knows SPCA because a lot of them are dumping their animals there because they don't have money for food on the table, yes. And then it's your Salvation Army and CHOC as well. Organizations like it will be exposed on the day so that they get more publicity, so in future they get more support. Once people know they exist, you know, if you haven't lost a loved one to cancer and that, you'll never understand
Absolutely.
the good work that hospice does. And CHOC and those individuals out there and your cancer organizations and things like that. Until you experience it, it's only then you realize what good work they do. And these people need the support from civil society.
Absolutely. There's so many different entities. Just thinking off the top of my head, when it comes to gender-based violence that's going on in South Africa, and rape and crime that's taking place, that tends to be taking the spotlight of a number of people's attention right now on a national scale. And sad, but it happens within our society on a national basis, unfortunately. But when it hogs the spotlight, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't, because it is extreme and it's a scourge and needs to be removed, but it kind of takes away from the awareness of many of the other areas where there is a desperate and dire need, such as people that are starving.
Yeah, and the main factor behind the social food drive is that we're going to form a network, and that's the main underlying factor about this whole thing, so that once beyond this drive on the day, the real positive thing, we've now all of a sudden networked with a whole lot of groups that we haven't been networking with. So we're building up these networks, and the more we build up on the networks, the more support we can get, so that those in need can receive whatever services they require.
That's fascinating you say that, Manny, because in terms of the 6th of September, that's not then a one-off event. That's the start of a long-term campaign that you're referring to now, that networking of good organizations going forward.
That's correct.
So this is not just a drop-off point on the 6th of September, once off, and maybe let's hope of doing it again in a year's time. Well, let's indeed hope we can do it again in the foreseeable future. But in the meantime, let's not forget that the day after, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and maybe next month, maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months' time, when those people are in desperate need, that the network will still provide for them. The network that you're putting together now, and I would dare say introducing on the 6th of September.
That's correct, Steve.
I think it's a matter of we will then have better established connections to the channels. So if we receive, we can still push it through to our infrastructure that we've achieved through the first social food drive, making our network a bit stronger and better as well. So,
with I dare say, an ongoing commitment from the media partners that you've brought in on this particular event. Not a once-off handshake, is it?
No, Steve, and we want to thank Platinum for assisting in this food drive. We really appreciate it, and many of the other radio stations that are participating as well.
Excellent. We're certainly honoured to be involved, and our ongoing commitment in terms of the feel-good factor of what radio can bring, and the need in the community for a feel-good solution, and the way in which you're putting this social solidarity food drive together. And hence I'm harping on this thing of going on beyond the 6th of September is just synergistic in that it kind of makes sense that the media partners that you've chosen, the people that you've chosen that are bringing in, the people that are receiving from this, remain in that network, and that awareness of good people doing good things remains an important message that goes out to many, many people as far and wide as possible. We're taking this a little bit further afield than just happening here in Ekurhuleni, are we, going forward?
Yes, look, it's covering Gauteng at the moment, because we're dealing with the Gauteng Social Development Department of government as well, because quite a bit of the bulk is going to the food banks. So we're incorporating government, so it's very broad. And government has got structures, and if people are aware of the structure, will also realize that a lot of damage is done by just a few individuals. They've got quite a good system on the go, It's just we need more participation to observe what the authorities are actually doing. After all, our tax money is going into that, and it's easier to break down rather than to participate. So we're in touch with them. We're looking at their systems. We've been at the fresh produce markets where the food banks are situated. Plus, there's other food banks outside of those markets. And we'll soon identify where the non-perishables need to go and where the perishables have to go at this stage.
Interesting. Fascinating. The amount of logistics that go into managing just that aspect of it is absolutely mind-boggling. Do you have specialists in terms of food management? It comes to mind that to manage that amount of food, you need a food warehouse qualification or experience in managing food on a large scale, such that things like expiry dates, things like first in, first out kind of processes are observed. Have you brought those in from third parties, or do you have them within your organization?
What's wonderful about charity people, that becomes a natural. You know, they don't have to be very well, because charity people, they distribute the things, they know where to distribute it. And what we're doing at the moment, we've requested lists from all these organizations, their wish list, what they sort of normally sort of ask for, so that we can assist them with that. So there, logistically, we will be transporting directly to them even before the 6th of September. We'll already be delivering, so we can minimize the logistical side of all the bulk deliveries. So we're already planning deliveries direct to these various organizations.
Interesting. It goes more than just what the average person on the street thinks. Oh, there's just a place where they're collecting things, giving it out to charity. There's a lot more behind the scenes.
Very much so, Steve. Quite a
Gosh, amazing stuff. Where do people find out more information about what you're up to?
Very, very, very easy, Steve. Social media. That's where you can find us. We're there every moment of the day. We post hourly. Of course, socialfooddrive.co.za. That's the starting point. They can go to our website. All our social media, our feeds are there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And then they can also drop us an email through the Contact Us button. If they want to get in touch with us, they can contact us right there. On.
Do you have an email address we can confirm now?
Info at Social Food Drive. Now you got me. Info at socialfooddrive.co.za.
Excellent. And of course, that's the website, isn't it? www.socialfooddrive.co.za.
Yes.
Social Food Drive, one word. And they can find out lots and lots of information there. Of course, on platinumgoldradio.com,
Yes.
there's a link directly to that as well, and they can go and find out more there, and link to your social media, in fact, all of your digital media platforms.
Yes, and then also WhatsApp. They can phone us. They've got a cell phone number where they can reach us. They can WhatsApp or they can phone 073 546 9528. That's 073 546 9528.
Do you have a map location where people can say, oh, okay, that's where it is. I'm not quite sure where I'm going.
Yes.
Is that on your website?
Directions. Click on directions. They will open up the CFC Church. It's on the corner of Atlas Road and Silver Wings Boulevard.
Yeah, very easy
in
to find.
Parkhaven in Kenton. Yeah. Very, very easy. It's the church with a big TV screen.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
The road. You can't miss it. It's there. You'll see the activity going on the 6th of September. And we will have facilities if nature calls alongside the road.
Sure.
But as we mentioned earlier, we don't want people to sit there for hours.
Sure.
Go to the audiovisual stream on our website, click on the Watch Live, and keep informed on the events.
And it's open the entire day. I mean, we said it starts at 9 a.m. in the morning, and then it goes through to when?
It's hard to say at this stage.
Until the last vehicle leaves.
In the dark.
We'll have lighting.
If
lighting will be set up, yes.
So we can't say. We don't know. We don't know yet how the response is going to be. There's a lot of people needing food, but let's see how it goes on the day. But there's a lot of support, especially from the biker community and individuals, companies, corporates. getting on board now.
Excellent. I was about to ask about that because we did speak about that last time, asking how do corporates become involved? Do they need to register? Do they need to ask you, can we as a company come along and donate? And it was just a case of organize it yourself and come along. And now you've mentioned that. The corporates coming on board?
Yes, they're contacting us through the info at Social Food Drive. So if you want to get involved, please give us a shout.
And then we'll assist the corporates how to take it further. We'd like them to contact us so we can assist them if they want to do a broader thing or they want to have one of their banners put up, depending on their contribution. They're quite welcome to contact us.
I do get a feeling that communities around South Africa are dying to get out a little bit. They've been locked up for far too long. People are wanting to get out. They're screaming to get out of the house and to get
Cabin
into
fever.
something.
Cabin fever.
That's exactly it. They're wanting to get out and do something. They're just wanting to partake in something that's exciting. And, well, we saw what happened in Wuhan when they had they just went ahead and had a rave concert, didn't they? They had the same thing in the UK. They were shut down because, well, yeah, you can't do that kind of thing in COVID-19 times. We're not doing the same thing now on the 6th of September. We're observing the rules, but it does give people an opportunity to get out.
Even if it's for an hour. Just dropping off and going is that outing and doing something good, making a change in somebody else's lives.
And no matter how small the contribution, even if they don't have a contribution, just drive through in solidarity.
Come and say hello.
Yes,
That's so important that you've mentioned that, Manny, the solidarity, isn't it?
absolutely, absolutely.
So if you've got a classic car or vintage car and you're in a car club, come through with your cars in a group, drive through, show support, solidarity for this great event. And if you can, make a donation. So we want those classic car, vintage car guys to come through and also show some support and show off their vehicles.
And just by being there, just by that factor of solidarity, it makes such a big difference within the spirit of the community, doesn't it?
And that's exactly what the spirit of Ubuntu is all about.
Exactly. We come back to what the key is with what the social solidarity food drive is. That is the spirit of Ubuntu. Wow. What a fantastic event. We're proud to be partnering with you and be broadcasting there on the day. We look forward to it. Are we chatting with you between now and then, or are you just too under the pressure to get back onto radio with us, chatting ahead of the event?
We'll chat again, Steve.
We look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We really look forward to that. Excellent. What else is going on there that we need to know about between now and then?
I will let you know, Steve.
Oh, you'll let us
Next
know. You're
chat.
very secret.
Things happen, it evolves, so we will keep you updated.
It's evolving, it's happening, absolutely. And it is happening. You said you're just about to start putting the first bits and pieces on the ground.
Yes, the staging.
Ah.
We're starting off with the staging.
So the tangible side is about to start.
Yes, Steve.
We wish
Well,
you
thank you.
all the best with it. Much energy, much sustained energy. That energy level is infectious to everyone else around, certainly to us here at Platinum Gold Radio. And we wish you all the best in terms of putting it all together, keeping it safe, keeping the spirit going, keeping the energy levels going, keeping the involvement going. And may this grow to some level that nobody expected at any level, making a difference in more people's lives than anyone could ever have imagined. We wish you all the best. Social Solidarity Food Drive, of course, www.socialfooddrive.co.za. Mr. Mary Ferrarino, heading up the Portuguese Forum of South Africa, making a big difference. Harold Scarp, thank you for joining us in studio again today, right here at Platinum Gold Radio. We look forward to chatting with you again in the very near future. We'll keep everyone posted as to what's going on.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you,
Only
Steve.
an absolute
Thank you.
pleasure. In the meantime, please stay safe.